Imagine this. Margaret, a sprightly 72-year-old from Oregon, used to love gardening. But over time, something changed. Her knees ached, her fingers stiffened, and her once beloved rose beds started collecting weeds. Her doctor blamed it on age, but Margaret wasn't convinced. After some digging, pardon the pun, she discovered the real culprit wasn't just aging. It was in her kitchen. You see, many of us over 60 unknowingly consume foods every single day that quietly fuel inflammation, chip away at joint cartilage, and worsen stiffness and pain. These are everyday staples, common, trusted, even beloved. But the truth is, some of them are doing real harm. And today, we're going to uncover 8 of the worst offenders. And what to eat instead to soothe your joints, reduce inflammation, and regain your mobility. You don't have to give up taste, enjoyment, or your favorite meals. You just need to make smart swaps. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how. Let's dive in. 1. Vegetable oils like corn, soybean, and sunflower oil. Open your pantry and pull out that bottle labeled Heart Healthy. Corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, they've been kitchen staples for decades. They're cheap. They're everywhere. But here's the twist. These so-called healthy oils may be slowly corroding your joints from the inside out. These oils are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, far more than your body was ever meant to handle. A century ago, omega-6s and omega-3s were consumed in near equal amounts. But today, the average person consumes 15 to 25 times more omega-6 than omega-3s. Why does that matter? Because omega-6s are like the gasoline of inflammation. When balanced with omega-3s, they're harmless, even useful. But when they flood your system, they ignite a chronic inflammatory fire that spreads through your body, including your joints. This silent storm breaks down cartilage, dries up joint lubrication, and leaves you with knees that crackle, hips that grind, and hands that feel stiff and swollen by mid-morning. And these oils hide in plain sight. Salad dressings, sauces, fried foods, store-bought snacks, even so-called healthy granola bars. Every meal cooked with them is like adding another drop of fuel to that internal fire. But there's a solution. Switch to cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. Olive oil isn't just smooth and delicious. It's rich in oleocanthal, a natural anti-inflammatory compound so powerful, it's been compared to ibuprofen in scientific studies. It soothes your joints instead of scorching them. So the next time you reach for a bottle, ask yourself, are you feeding your joints or frying them from within? 2. Sugary beverages, including fruit juice. You wake up, reach for a glass of orange juice, and think, I'm doing something good for my health. After all, juice comes from fruit, nature's gift, right? But here's what the juice commercials want to tell you. When fruit is stripped of its fiber, all that remains is concentrated sugar, often more than what's in a can of soda. Yes, that natural juice may spike your blood sugar faster than a fizzy cola. When your blood sugar surges, your body goes into damage control. It pumps out insulin, increases fat storage, and triggers inflammation. And inflammation, once again, goes straight for your weakest link, your joints. Sugar triggers the release of cytokines, chemical messengers that scream, attack, to your immune system. It's like sounding the alarm when there's no enemy, except the battleground is your knees, your fingers, your back. Over time, high sugar intake wears down cartilage, the shock absorber of your joints, leaving bone rubbing against bone. It also increases uric acid levels, which can crystallize in joints, causing excruciating gout attacks. What's the better option? Water infused with lemon slices, cucumber, or fresh mint. If you crave something fruity, reach for tart cherry juice in moderation. Unlike orange juice, tart cherries are anti-inflammatory superheroes, packed with anthocyanins that ease joint pain and support better sleep. Sugary drinks may give you a momentary lift, but they leave your joints crashing, aching, and inflamed. Protect your body's hinges by drinking smarter. 3. White bread and refined grains. Soft, fluffy, comforting, white bread has been a staple of dinner tables for generations. Whether it's toast in the morning, a sandwich at lunch, or a dinner roll with soup, it's familiar and easy to chew. But the truth is, white bread doesn't feed your body. It feeds inflammation. Refined grains are stripped of their fiber, their vitamins, and their healthy oils. What's left is a starch that breaks down rapidly into sugar the moment it hits your bloodstream. And just like we saw with sugary drinks, that sugar rush lights a fire inside your body. This blood sugar spike causes the production of something especially sinister: advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These molecules form when sugars attach to proteins, and they literally age your tissues, including your joints. Think of AGEs as tiny shards of glass, embedding themselves in your joint linings, making every movement more painful over time. They also stiffen collagen, the protein that gives your joints flexibility and resilience. And there's another layer. White bread starves your gut microbiome. Without fiber, your healthy gut bacteria weaken. And a weak gut allows inflammatory compounds to leak into your bloodstream, a condition scientists now link to arthritis, chronic fatigue, and autoimmune disease. So what's the swap? Try sprouted grain bread, steel-cut oats, or ancient grains like quinoa, amaranth, and buckwheat. These aren't just healthier. They actively work to reduce inflammation, nourish your gut, and support smoother joint movement. Your joints carry you through life. Feed them like they matter. 4. Processed meats, like sausages, bacon, and deli meats. There's a certain smell that makes you feel like home. Bacon sizzling in the pan, sausages on a Sunday morning, a ham sandwich with mustard and cheese. But behind that familiar comfort is a hidden cost. Processed meats are more than just high in salt and saturated fat. They were full of chemical preservatives like nitrates and nitrites. These chemicals extend shelf life, yes, but they also increase oxidative stress and inflammatory reactions in your body. When these preservatives break down, they create compounds that damage the lining of your blood vessels, stiffen cartilage, and accelerate the aging of your joints. Over time, this toxic burden adds up, slowing joint repair, increasing pain, and making flare-ups more frequent. They're also packed with AGEs, those damaging compounds we mentioned earlier that literally age your tissues. Scientists have found that people with diets high in processed meats have higher levels of C-reactive protein, a key marker of inflammation. And let's not forget sodium. The salt content in processed meats can cause your body to retain water, leading to swollen, tender joints that ache with even minor movement. What can you eat instead? Choose lean, unprocessed proteins. Grilled chicken, turkey, beans, lentils, or better yet, fatty fish like sardines and wild-caught salmon. These fish are bursting with omega-3s, which naturally cool inflammation, support joint lubrication, and improve mobility. Processed meat is fast, but the damage it does to your joints lasts far longer than the meal. 5. Fried foods. Picture this: a plate of golden, crispy fried chicken or a basket of golden fries that you just can't resist. The crunch, the smell, it's an irresistible treat. But here's the reality. That crispy coating is hiding a whole host of problems for your joints. When you fry food at high temperatures, something dangerous happens. The oils break down, creating harmful trans fats and acrylamide, a toxic compound that forms when starchy foods are cooked at high heat. These compounds are linked to increased inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. Trans fats, in particular, are notorious for raising levels of bad cholesterol, LDL, while lowering good cholesterol, HDL, contributing to clogged arteries and reduced blood flow. Your joints need proper circulation to stay nourished and to flush out toxins. If your blood isn't flowing properly, your joints suffer. But the problems don't end there. Fried foods also wreak havoc on your gut. The excess oil and trans fats can weaken the gut lining, making it easier for inflammatory molecules to leak into your bloodstream, triggering widespread inflammation, especially in the joints. Instead of diving into that fried basket, opt for healthier cooking methods like baking, grilling, or air frying. You'll still get that satisfying crunch without the joint damage. And when you need a little extra flavor, season with anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric, rosemary, and ginger. These add a rich depth of flavor and offer powerful joint protection. The crunch you crave doesn't have to come with a cost. Your joints deserve better. 6. Dairy, for some people. Dairy. For years, it was marketed as a must-have for strong bones. But for some people over 60, dairy might actually be doing more harm than good, especially when it comes to joint health. While dairy is a great source of calcium, many seniors find that it's not so friendly to their joints. Dairy contains casein, a protein that, for certain individuals, can trigger an inflammatory response. For those with a sensitivity to casein, consuming milk, cheese, or yogurt can lead to joint flare-ups, stiffness, and even more severe pain in conditions like arthritis. The problem is that casein can act like an irritant to the immune system, causing it to release pro-inflammatory compounds that target joints. If you've noticed your joints aching or becoming swollen after a dairy-heavy meal, you might be one of the many individuals who react negatively to casein. But don't worry, you don't have to cut out calcium altogether. Opt for dairy-free alternatives like almond milk, oat milk, or coconut yogurt. These options are packed with the nutrients your body needs, without the inflammatory effects. Plus, many of these dairy alternatives are fortified with vitamin D and calcium to support strong bones and joints. If you're still craving something creamy, try kefir. This fermented drink is full of probiotics, which support gut health and help fight inflammation. So, if dairy seems to be giving your joints a hard time, there are plenty of tasty alternatives to keep you healthy and pain-free. Your joints don't need casein. They need comfort, and that can come in many different forms. 7. Table salt, especially in packaged foods. A pinch of salt here, a dash there. It's easy to overlook how much salt sneaks into your diet. But for your joints, that pinch might be the tipping point. Most of the salt you consume isn't from your salt shaker. It's hiding in processed foods, canned soups, frozen meals, snacks, and even some sauces. The problem with excess sodium is that it causes your body to retain water. This leads to swelling, particularly in the joints. Imagine your knee or wrist swelling up like a balloon. This is what happens when you overload on salt. Salt doesn't just make you feel bloated. Over time, too much sodium can contribute to high blood pressure, which reduces circulation and prevents vital nutrients from reaching your joints. If your joints are starved of the nutrients they need to heal and repair, the damage accelerates. In fact, studies show that excessive salt intake is linked to increased levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a marker of inflammation that directly affects joint health. This silent inflammation can lead to pain, stiffness, and a reduced range of motion. But there's hope. By cutting back on processed foods and avoiding adding extra salt to your meals, you can reduce your risk of joint damage. Instead of salt, season with herbs like basil, oregano, thyme, and parsley. These herbs not only bring flavor, but also offer anti-inflammatory properties that support joint health. Your joints deserve better than salty foods. They deserve nutrients that promote healing and flexibility. 8. Artificial sweeteners. Here is a little secret that most people don't realize. Artificial sweeteners might be doing more damage to your joints than sugar itself. You've been told that sugar is the enemy when it comes to inflammation. But what about the chemicals lurking in those sugar-free products? Aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin are common artificial sweeteners found in everything from sodas to diet snacks. These sweeteners are not only loaded with chemicals, but they also disrupt your gut bacteria, an important part of your immune system. A damaged gut leads to leaky gut syndrome, where inflammatory particles leak into your bloodstream, triggering widespread inflammation including in your joints. Some studies even suggest that artificial sweeteners can cause an increase in systemic inflammation, leading to more pain and stiffness in your joints. And because these sweeteners are much sweeter than sugar, they can trigger cravings for more sweet foods, which can worsen the cycle of inflammation. Instead of reaching for the artificial stuff, try natural sweeteners like stevia, monk fruit, or even a small amount of raw honey. These sweeteners are much gentler on your body, and they won't send your blood sugar or your inflammation into overdrive. Better yet, try enjoying the natural sweetness in whole foods, fruits, roasted vegetables, or even a pinch of cinnamon. Sweeteners may promise a sugar-free life, but they come with a hidden cost. Choose natural alternatives to protect your joints from their inflammatory effects. So, what have we learned? Joint pain isn't just about getting older. It's about what we put into our bodies every single day. The good news is, small changes can make a big difference. Just like Margaret, who after just 6 weeks of cutting out processed meats and switching to whole grains and turmeric teas, was back in her garden, pruning her roses without pain. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start with one swap. Maybe today it's ditching soda. Tomorrow, maybe you roast sweet potatoes instead of frying chips. Each step is a vote for your future health. Your joints carry you through life. They've walked with you through joy, struggle, celebration, and quiet mornings. Now, it's time to walk a little easier. If this video helped you, share it with a friend who might be struggling with joint pain. And don't forget to subscribe for more easy, life-changing health tips. Because you deserve to feel strong, mobile, and pain-free at every age. Your journey to better joints starts today.